where Kangaroof is and where you're from and kind of your role in the company.
I am Bill Burkhardt, and I am totally awesome. Just ask me, I'll tell you. We're from the Detroit, Michigan area. This year we are celebrating 20 years in the business. About 6 years ago, we got really serious about service. And back then we had one truck, and we're up to, I think, 8. I'm not sure. And we are probably looking to get to 15 or 16 in the next 2 or 3 years.
Amazing. Jenny, can you tell us a little bit about Mint Roofing and yourself?
Absolutely. I'm Jenny Minogue, as you know. Mint Roofing out of Minnesota. We just celebrated our 75th year, and I've been with the company 18 years. 15 of them have been in the service manager role. I have, this year we'll be rolling out 7 trucks with hopefully at 14 service techs this year.
Amazing, and I love that we have a woman on the panel, so thanks for being here. Okay, Robert, can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about Paramount?
My name is Robert Gillingham. I run the service department for Paramount Roofing. We are a very small contractor in Wilmington, Ohio. I myself have been in the industry 30 years. I've started multiple service departments, commercial roofing departments. I hold a statewide roofing license in Florida. We moved back to Ohio to just get back to our families. I was down 25 years and was more than happy when I met Kendrick to come on board with him and help him build his department and help him scale his company.
Amazing. Dusty.
All right. I'm Dusty Griffin. I'm with Corey Construction. Our headquarters is actually here in Houston. I work out of Grand Prairie office, which is up in DFW. I'm the regional service manager, so I handle DFW, Nashville, and Atlanta for them. I've been in the service industry for 20 years now. So I've worked for 4 different companies and basically in that role, growing service departments.
Great. Amazing. I would just like to point out the wealth of knowledge that we have on this stage right now. And thank you all for being here and sharing your wisdom with us. So I'd like to start out hearing from each of you why you came to ServiceCon and what are some of the goals you came here with. And now that this is the last session of ServiceCon 2026, were those goals met? Are you still hoping to work upon them? Bill, I'll start with you.
Okay, my goals are, when we come to these things, is always the same. Used to be I'd come to these and take a bunch of notes and get all excited and then come back and do nothing. And now it's find 1 or 2 actionable things that I can bring back to make the company, the service center, somehow make the company better in general. And I got John with me, and he's got the same homework that I do, that he's got to do the same thing. But if you can bring back 1 or 2 things every time you come to an event like this, you're going to make your company a little bit better every 6 months or every year, depending on how often you attend this type of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Jenny?
We both, we spoke about this before we even came, and we came to, improve our internal operations, create efficiencies any way we can. Getting someone like me that's been with the same company for as long as I have, I always want to bring the new to our company, whatever's out there. How can we make the technicians, the internal operations smooth, seamless, and set them up for success?
Yeah, absolutely. Great. Okay. Robert, what are some goals you came here with, and how are they looking?
One of the things I've learned in my career is always surround yourself with people that have done it bigger, done it better. Try to learn from them. And quite honestly, I'm a tech dinosaur. I need to work on all of this tech. I mean, I know what software and CRMs are and everything else, but things are so rapidly changing in this industry in the last few years that you either evolve or die. And it's always been something I believed in and learning something new every day. So I'm more than happy to be here and expand my mind, my wealth of knowledge and everything else, and continue to evolve with the industry as it changes every day.
I love that, and I don't believe that you're a tech dinosaur.
I hate my iPhone.
Don't we all? Dusty, what were your goals and have they worked out?
Perfectly. So my really goal is just to talk with like-minded people and learn what they know and share what I know, right? So I've been doing it for 20 years, so now it's time for me to share my knowledge with other people.
Yeah.
So that's why I get the biggest kick out of. But I'm always learning stuff from other people, younger people.
Yep.
The old people are doing this stuff the same way they've always done it. The young people are the ones with the new ideas. So that's what I like.
I like that. I like that. Okay, so I'd like to know, what are some of the operational systems that have made the biggest difference in improving response time and customer retention for your companies? And Dusty, I'm going to throw it to you this time.
All right. Well, CRM, a good CRM is critical, and I'll just name drop CenterPoint.
Yeah.
I think they're the best one out there. That's just my opinion. I'm kind of biased. But yeah, I can track all of my data instantly. I track it weekly. I can track it daily if I need to. Anybody in my company can ask me about my data at any given second, and I can spit out a number within seconds.
Wow.
So to me, that improves everything, and I share that information with my team. Mm-hmm. So every week, I share all that data with the service crews themselves, so they know exactly where we're at, how their job fits into the bigger picture, and it's all because of the power of the CRM.
Yeah. Robert, what are some tangible things that you all do to ease operations and improve time and customer retention?
We have a weekly meeting every Friday where we review everything that's going on the week before. I can tell you exactly what our profit margin was for the preceding week. We track monthly what our revenues are, what our yearly goal is. And it's just communication is key. They always say the stupidest questions when you don't ask. Much like he was saying, we're CenterPoint users. I'm a visual person. Being the dinosaur, I normally have a dry erase board for the month and what job's scheduled. With our tech board, it's all right there. We've had massive rains the last few days. I can go right to the tech board. I can change the schedule. If I want, it'll notify the client itself, or we do call the client and let them know about changing times and everything else. But it just makes everything much more efficient. When we do our Friday meeting, everybody logs into it. We review what happened the preceding week, what's going on next week, and communicate and prepare.
Yeah. I like that you do it on a Friday. All of my meetings are on Mondays.
Yeah.
And Friday, it's a little more, you're maybe less stressed.
Yeah.
And so it's prepping you so you don't have, stress over the weekend. I like that. Jenny, what are some tangible things that your team does to keep operations running smooth, customer retention, time management?
Sure. So a little bit of a history. Our company was, we were all paper. As of 2017, we went paperless and moved to CenterPoint. Actually, back then was FCS. And it brought a challenge to our company that, we had people that were not technology savvy, and it was hard, but it was the direction we were moving. And it is bringing us, we just came off our most profitable year.
Wow.
Of the efficiencies that they find in the field. It was a pain to begin with, but to have them walk away from it after learning it and seeing the efficiencies in it and then saying, I can't believe we ever did it that way. So it has brought our company together into one operational software that on our commercial side and our service side, we're all together as one.
Wow, that's huge. 10 years almost of being online. Feels good?
Great, great.
Bill, how about you? What are some tangible things you all do?
Well, first of all, I want to know, did Will make you write that question so that we'd all have to say how great CenterPoint was?
I have not been paid.
So we are a combination. We are an EOS company, which is called Entrepreneurial Operating System, and it's just a method. Cody talked about it a little bit. It's a method for running your company, and the real key to it is accountability. And we are but we are definitely a big CenterPoint user and CenterPoint fan. So we use those two things together, the accountability from the EOS and all of the easy to use features. I mean, the one thing that's nice about CenterPoint is A lot of the guys in the field are tech dinosaurs, and they don't really like using it, but it's easy enough to use that we can get them to use it. And using that along with, we invoice within 48 hours with that full report. So we get a good customer experience. There's accountability through the whole process. They get the invoice and the report almost immediately after we're done on the roof. And that's the type of stuff that we couldn't do without CenterPoint.
That's great, because I mean, Tracy Donnells was talking about the importance of getting that invoice sent as soon as humanly possible. So that's great to hear, 48 hours. That's amazing. Okay, we all know labor is tight. So I'd like to hear, and I'll start with you, Bill, how are you structuring service teams differently than install crews to improve efficiency and morale?
Our service team is a completely separate part of the company. It's almost, we act like it's a separate company under the same umbrella. Our techs all wear uniforms, they're all trained the same way. We have weekly meetings that they're allowed to raise issues, and it was kind of interesting. John and I were talking about that. 6 months ago, we would have these meetings and they wouldn't have any issues, and then I would start saying, okay, then you're doing everything right, everything is working, the company's amazing, I'm amazing, you have no problems, so we can expect perfection moving forward. And then they started raising issues and bringing good ideas and improving the team. But we have two-man teams. We have a Tech 1 and a Tech 2. And the Tech 1's job is to meet with the clients and train the Tech 2 to become a Tech 1. And if they don't like being on our team, they have the ability to go back in the field. And we have not had anybody decide to go back in the field. They want to be part of the team.
I like that Tech 1 is responsible for training Tech 2 to become a Tech 1. That's upward trajectory. That's great. Jenny, how are you guys approaching the labor tightness market situation?
Sure. So we, same thing, we run a two-man crew. It's pretty much, I look at it as, sorry, I wrote my stuff down, team culture, or team chemistry and culture. I like pairing them up, especially if we have a new technician. I make sure I'm looking at skill. I'm looking at what this person can bring to the new client, the new service tech coming in, and get him up to speed immediately, him or her. So we, doing that, and one of our core values at Mintroofing is fun. And we stand by our core values 100%. Yes, it's one of my favorite ones because I want to go to work and have fun each and every day. And to put them together, to set them up, to hopefully have fun in a stressful situation like you're talking about, these coming out there on really crappy conditions. Being in Minnesota, we have terrible weather, and we want to keep them busy year-round. So we know they're up against a lot of challenges in the field, but hopefully pairing them with somebody that even if the skill isn't 100% aligned, they're a good match. And it's what's best for the customer too. When they're having fun, trying to have fun, and coming to work each and every day, we'll get better success out of them.
Yeah. I'd like to ask you a follow-up. How do you match them then? Is there like a personality test or?
No, well, so we currently have a newly service superintendent that we have worked for a long time. And we've had him for a year. And he was one of my senior service techs.
Okay.
That was out there. And he will bring back to me, I see it. I mean, I do all the hiring. I do everything. So I have a vision of the person when I hire them. And I know who I probably want to pair them with, but I also get feedback from them, and I listen to them, and they bring me, you know, say so-and-so really could use some help on their corners. Like, they're not whatever. Well, I know the right person I'm going to put them with, and, you know, bring them together, and then, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Robert, how are you all kind of approaching the tight labor market right now?
Right now, with the way the labor market is, we run a two-man team like you guys do also. Everything that I'm doing at this point is trying to promote from within. We're still very much in our infancy. But my lead tech already knows I have regular discussions with him, that I have vision for him to be a foreman, to move up. I want him to train the junior guy in the van to be able to run the van. I want them to be able to oversee the new teams as they come on. And at this point in my career, one of the most rewarding things I do is help people level up. It's, not just about the next title or the next big pay and raise. I love giving back to my industry, and I love to, help the people that are underneath me grow.
Love that.
Okay, so same thing, we run two-man crews with a service foreman and a technician. To me, it's all about the career ladder, so I have really strong, objective career ladders. You hit these check boxes, you get more money, right? And if you hit all the check boxes, now you get promoted to the next thing up. And it's objective, right? If I care about you, if you're my best friend or I hate you, it doesn't matter. If you hit the boxes, you get the money. You hit the boxes, you get promoted. And with the younger generation, they're a lot more focused on that than we were growing up, right? They want to see a growth plan. They don't want to take a job where they're going to be doing the same thing 10 years from now. They really want to know, what's my next step? How can I grow myself? What is the opportunity? And with these clear career ladders, it's right there.
Yeah.
And they know it's just completely based on what they're going to do, because my opinion doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so follow-up question to this. How are you guys finding people? Are you doing anything unique to find people? Are you purposefully looking for women? Are you going to college job fairs? Anything interesting, Skills USA, that you all are doing to find people? You.
Not really. So, I mean, really, I've always been a promote from within and hire from within. It seems like stronger teams when I get foremen to bring on their own helper. Because there's normally somebody they know is already going to listen to them, and I don't have that battle, because what you end up getting was a battle of egos, right? You bring this young guy in with this guy, and they don't know each other, so they start getting in that ego trip. But if they bring them in, their own helpers, totally different dynamic.
Yeah. Okay, so you're finding like your workers are bringing other people into the company.
Right. And I do that
Speaks
again through the
highly.
career ladder, right? Because I'm showing them how the opportunity, so they can pitch that to new people they're bringing in.
Yeah. Anybody else have anything to add on that?
Being a union roofer, obviously we lean on the union quite a bit to send talent our way. I typically hire more journeymen. I'd rather have a crew of all journeymen without apprentices. I know it seems crazy, but the margin we can still stay high on, because the efficiencies are there. They know what they're doing. They're not training someone behind. They're performing the work under hours, but good work is being done. Okay, not saying anything. I will take an apprentice on, but yeah, we lean on them a lot. Networking, we're always out, word of mouth, asking the techs. You might have went to school with so and so. Where is he at now? Word of mouth. We get a lot in that way.
That's great.
We strongly encourage our team to bring people to us if they think they're a good fit. And we do reward them for doing that. They get a nice financial stipend for bringing them in. But in addition to that, about 3 years ago, I invested a lot of time and effort and money into this side of the business, because it's such a critical need, and it's only going to get worse. So we invested in a applicant tracking software. I took classes on how to write job ads, how to incorporate your core values into the job ads, how to put the wording in. Like if you want a service tech, you want to write the ad that's going to get somebody's attention that wants that kind of job. If they're going to work on a crew, it's a different type of ad that you're going to run. And at the entry level and at the field level, we do all of that in-house. I have an HR person that is now their job. At the higher level, we still do that, but we also contract with another company who does run job ads and skill assessments for us on the sales and management side of the business.
Amazing. Okay, thanks everyone for going with my question there. Also, if anyone out there has questions, feel free to raise hands, and this can be a very conversational panel here. Okay, so how are you all training your technicians not to just fix the problems they're sent to fix, but identify things that are there that weren't mentioned, you know, kind of going that extra mile. I know Chad mentioned will and skill. How are you all prepping your teams, making sure they have that ability to go the extra mile? And Bill, I'm going to throw this to you.
It starts with the software. Again, Will, got to give you a plug. It sets it up and it makes it easy for, we train them on how to use the software to go through the process. We reinforce it with training. We send out superintendents after the fact once in a while to double check and make sure that they hit everything that they were supposed to. But they have checklists. We have core values, and all of that plays into it. But it's a lot of training and following, dotting I's, crossing T's, but using the system. They are also rewarded, our service techs, I don't know the dollar amounts, but if they find additional work, they get a stipend for finding it, and then if we sell it, they get another stipend for selling it. And we hold weekly service meetings for them, but once a month, we have a special meeting where we pass out all those checks or gift cards to the team members, and that actually helps drive it, because you don't want to sit next to a guy that got $400 and you didn't get anything. It's like Tracy said, you don't all have to win, but nobody wants to come in last place. And that helps drive that whole process.
Yeah, Jenny?
So I will use, if the technicians are dispatched on a roof leak, okay, so they're gonna go out there, they're gonna complete the repair, and they're gonna do a full roof overall review of what they see. And they're not doing an inspection, they're gonna walk around the roof, and if it's something that they see as an emergency and it's open, it could be contributing to the leak, traveling an amount away, they're gonna repair it right there on site. I would rather my invoice be very detailed, well, they are very detailed, but really explain a story of what happened up on the roof. But in addition to that, they're going to create a quick bid while they're out there in Centerpoint, and right there, they create it, it goes right to the salesman, we make sure they're tagged in it, and a proposal will be sent right there. We give them incentives of, you find it, you will be the one that completes the work. So in Minnesota, when we're looking for work, this and that, they're the ones that are bringing back the most quick bids because they want to stay busy.
Smart. Robert?
We have a very similar thing. I don't incentivize my guys on any one particular thing. We incentivize them on what the truck does monthly. That way, as I spend time with them out in the field, I try and get them, I know someone had used the word tunnel vision here over the weekend. I'm not sending you out to just go find this puncture in the roof. I want you to look at absolutely everything. I want you to give me other recommendations. Very simple tasks, puncture and single ply, anything like that, I know they can handle on their own. But larger, more complicated scope jobs that I'll write, my guys know for a fact I'll personally come out there with them, make sure I explain to them what my thinking process was, what the methodology needs to be to put the roof system back together correctly. If there's persistent leak jobs that they're having trouble, they know if they call me, I'm within half hour, 45 minutes away. I'll meet my guys personally on the job to help them find the leak, explain to them what they were missing, and just try and help them be more successful overall. I had a conversation with my lead tech the other day. We're trying to have him recruit someone right now, and it was refreshing for him to hear how he's trying to bring this other guy in and explaining to him the different things that we do that other companies don't, how they get their monthly bonus, they know exactly what the truck needs to hit, and we have a really good program in place that's going to pay dividends over the years.
Interesting. I like the monthly approach.
So similar to what everybody else is doing, but so I track their site bids and their NT increases on every job every week, and I report it publicly. So everybody knows if you did it or not, and nobody wants to be that guy that everybody else did it and I didn't do it. I don't do incentives. I don't like incentives. I like rewards. Because what happens with incentives I've seen is people start focusing on just the part of their job that pays that incentive. But if you can reward them, so I'll say, okay, whatever truck gets the most side bids this month gets a gift card. Whatever side bid gets the most ENTs this month, you get a gift card. But it's not an incentive, it's a reward. I like rewards much better than incentives because it makes you focus on the whole job and not get tunnel vision on one certain thing.
That's why I bonus over the total the truck does monthly.
There you go.
It's just like you're saying, if you get them to focus on
Yeah,
one thing, that's all.
rewards always better than incentives.
Yeah, and we noticed that too. I would have, we tell the team, your mission is to go on this roof, and no matter what, you're making it better than the way you arrived, right? It's gonna be in better shape by the time you walk off that roof. Look at it as your grandma's house. That's what we always tell them. In every service tech meeting, that's what we talk about. I used to give rewards, and I used to have a whiteboard in my office, and we would play a monthly game of quick bids. Who can generate the most quick bids? Well, the quality that started coming in was like, wait, why didn't you fix that well on site? And then I'd deny them, and they're like, what? So then I lost them. Right now they're like, well, she's not paying, she's being picky, she's not really rewarding us anymore. I know that safety rail should be on that roof, but we would go to the same roof leak over and over and over again. You know, the roof is failing miserably, and each of them would come back that it needs a safety rail. And I'm like, how do I get away from that? So we ran into a little bit with that, but that's why we fell back into, if you find it and it sells, you get to go do the work, which makes them think about what they're putting out there first before their quick bid, because you're doing the work.
One thing else that we've started doing is they have to call us every ticket. So when they get done with the ticket before they leave, call me while you're on the roof, and I'll review the ticket, make sure your photos in there. If you don't have a side bid, why do you not have a side bid? Mm-hmm. Oh, there's nothing on the roof. Cool, FaceTime me and let's spin around the roof real quick and see if I can't see something. Mm-hmm. And so I'll hold them accountable. If they don't, NT increase, did you get an NT increase? Well, no, well, there's nothing else wrong with that roof. Nothing, zero. Oh, well, yeah, there's this. Okay, let's go. So I stop them before they ever move off the roof and make sure that they're doing those things.
Wow, interesting. Wow, I loved that back and forth. That was a good volley. Okay, so roll with me on this one. I'd love to hear some highs and lows of your experiences, you know, running a service department. And maybe we talk about the low and how you got to the high. What was maybe your lowest low, if you're willing to share, and how you got to your highest high? And Dusty, I'm gonna throw you in the fire.
Appreciate it.
You can handle it.
The lowest low is basically when people are just starting. If you're in a company that's just starting out with service and they don't understand it, they have a production mindset, and trying to get them to understand that service is a different animal and get all that to click so you can start growing it. That's the lowest of the low, because you're always bumping your head against the wall because they think they know how to run a roofing company, which they do, but service is a different animal. So that's the lowest low. That's what really drags you down. But if you can but then watching it scale, once you get them to wake up, is the highest high. Or if I can take a small little company that's broken or doesn't even have a service department that exists and scale it, oh man, that's you don't get it better than that.
Yeah.
That's what's fun in it for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a game.
Yeah.
Robert, how about you? What was your deepest, lowest?
My lowest low is unfortunately having made good relationships with people, become very good friends with people that are very good techs, but unfortunately, and it's something that's just endemic in this industry, having to let them go due to alcohol or drug problems. That sucks. When you know you got a good guy, he does good work, but he just can't show up to work, and it doesn't matter what, you try to get him to go to rehab or anything else. That's just the truth. As the lowest lows for me is letting good-hearted people go that can't overcome their problems. As far as the highest highs, just like you're saying, I'm a very team-oriented guy, and me and my guys do stuff outside of work. I'm not a boss, I'm a coach. It's my team. And I love just the big wins, when everybody knows every cylinder's hitting, everything's running, everything's humming, you're happy to go to work every day. Fridays, weekends coming, everybody killed it, high five. It's just no better feeling.
Yeah. I'm really glad you mentioned that, Robert,
It's
about
truth.
addiction. Has anyone here heard of Roofers in Recovery?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a really great organization. If you have if you have people that are in the throes of addiction and they're up on the roof, it's an organization that puts roofers through rehab. So it's really beautiful. Yeah.
Every single person that I grew up roofing with, my whole circle that I laid shingles with, burned Mahdi with, it's unfortunate. Every single one is dead, in prison, or strung out and on their way to death.
Wow.
I hate heroin.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely, everyone should go check out Roofers in Recovery. You can find them on rooferscoffeeshop.com, and it's really beautiful what they do. So Jenny, what was one of your lowest lows running the service department, and how'd you get from there to your highest high?
Well, I'm going to go right back to changing our ways from paper. It sounds crazy, but we get stuck, and every one of us does, but it's just the way we do it. I mean, it's easy. You already know how to do it, but losing some amazing people in the company because you are going to move in the technology field, and seeing I can even say, when we implemented FCS, I called Will, and he flew in. We flew in his team because we were going to make this a seamless transition from paper to technology. And I drove to the airport, or drove to his hotel that morning to pick up his team, and I see on the forecast in 2 hours we're getting hit with a major thunderstorm. And I was like, okay, we have 1 hour of training, then we're gonna go live with this. I'm like, well, we're not doing it today. And he's like, we're doing it today. I'm like, oh my God. And I was literally panicking so bad, and to have the guys out in the field, and it's pouring rain, and they've had 1 hour of training, and they're live, and to see what this software, just this move that we made, wasn't necessarily a low of our company, but it was a pain, it was a struggle. It was hard to rip the Band-Aid off and say, this is who we are going to be, and to have them, the team there, and they're waiting for any questions. The questions are coming in. Their guys are trapped. We're live. We can see where you are stuck in this work order. And to have them fix it, they stayed over, they were there the next day, minimal questions. Still really valid questions that came from them, just on the learning curve, but the high of all of this is that we have formed such amazing relationships with clients that we have known for years and years and years, but we had a disconnect. We had no reason to get in front of them. We didn't have any reason to set up an appointment to say, hey, can we go over the portal with you? We'd like to show you everything that's in here and everything that's at your fingertips. So it brought us, I guess, more just change was hard, but it brought us, again, to amazing efficiencies and more connection with our clients.
Wow. Oh my God. Good thing we're recording that. That was great. Bill, lowest low to highest high. How'd you get there?
Lowest low, about 4 or 5 years ago when we decided to get serious about service, and we had a couple trucks. They were pure service, but they were being run by the production team, and conflict of interest naturally arises. And we got a little bit bigger, and I decided that we needed to have a service manager. And I had a gentleman working for us who was extremely smart, extremely detailed, and wanted a chance for advancement into the company, and we put him in that position. It lasted about 8 or 9 months, and it lasted about 8 months longer than it should have, because he was absolutely the wrong person in the wrong seat. He's a guy that you can't give him enough detail. You just can't. And it's not that he didn't care about people. He cared about the numbers and the information more. So he would run over human beings just to have certain types of information. And more importantly, if you annoyed him, he punished you. How would you like to be a client of Kangaroo, have your service manager punishing you because he thinks you're a pain in the ass? So we didn't completely implode, but we took a huge hit, and that was when I stepped in and took over service. Not hiring the right people, or more importantly, not putting the right people in the right seat can be catastrophic in this business. And I learned a very expensive lesson doing that. The highest of the high, I had a vision, a really solid vision about 3 or 4 years ago of what I thought I wanted my service team to look like. And today it looks better than the vision I had 3 or 4 years ago. We have a commercial superintendent who's the subject matter expert. We have a residential superintendent who is a subject matter expert. We have a CCC, customer care coordinator, so she does all the client communication. And we have John, who is now our concierge for all of our warranty and preventative maintenance programs. And our team in the last 6 months has come together so much and done so well. I don't spend, okay, John, do I spend 12 hours a week in service? No. More than one. But I don't spend a day a week in service anymore because they are doing such a good job doing it.
That's awesome.
That's a great high. What a high. I love that. Okay, so we're wrapping it up already. This has flown by. Thank you all so much. So to wrap it up, looking ahead into the rest of 2026 and then 2027, what's one shift in the service model contractors need to be preparing for now? You.
I will start. It's AI. AI is the key. Like for years, service was always reactive. Now it's getting more proactive, right? Like we talked about that a lot during ServiceCon about being proactive and preventive maintenance. It's going to move to predictive, right? It's not going to be. Here's what our inspection report is going to be. This is the data about your roof for the last 24 months.
Yeah.
It's going to be like that. And if you're not ready for it, you're going to be in big trouble. So that means but to do that, that means you have to clean up the data you currently have so AI can do its thing. If your data's messy, if your CRM's messy and you haven't got it cleaned up, it's gonna make it really hard for AI to do its job, and you're gonna have major problems. So I would suggest get all that stuff straight now before that hits, because predictive is where it's gonna be. It's not gonna be proactive. Next year at this, we talked about predictive maintenance, not proactive maintenance.
Yeah, that's so interesting. Hire a 20-year-old intern to get everything cleaned up. Robert, what are you seeing? What should people be preparing for 2026 going into the new year, 2027?
Definitely was going to play off a lot of what he's saying. I think a lot of people are kind of behind the curve on rooftop safety with what the building owners are going to be responsible for 2035. It's a great growth segment. It's going to have to happen. Get in front of it, make it part of your culture, make it part of your inspections. Let your clients know to start budgeting for it now. It's not cheap, but it's definitely should be another arrow in your quiver. And to anybody out here that's trying to get a department started or it's stalled or anything else, don't be afraid to hire one of these coaches. Basically look at it as you have your existing building and shop, you're trying to build another one next to it. What do you need to start? And that's a blueprint. And that's what any one of these guys offer. Chad is a strategic partner in the growth that we're bringing to this company. Don't be afraid to look outside for someone that's got experience and is going to help guide you. That truck, that two-man team, those tools, that's a 6-figure investment. By all means, bring somebody in that's going to help you be successful with it.
Yeah. Yeah, and not to totally plug Service First Solutions, but having those peer groups like they do, where you're talking to other companies that are either slightly bigger or I can't remember how you do it, but the non-competing, you can just be honest and share, and like that's so important. Just like this at ServiceCon. Okay, Jenny, what are you preparing for? What should people be preparing for?
I would say just being open-minded and adaptable. lean on the people. It's happening around us, and whether we like it or not, to something that's maybe bigger and better than what you're getting ready to pitch to them. So I would just say, being open-minded, lean on, all these amazing minds in this room, in this whole weekend, this week that we've been here. Reach out to people. People have created these processes that I know we have a ton of processes that I've learned from other people. Pat, I've been out in Colorado to see him work his shop. Like, how did you do this before I make a big decision? Will's really helpful with that, in just saying, hey, I have people fly in that spend time with me for 2-3 days, and just to see how we work our company, but just being open-minded. I really think we just have to take it all in and be ready to make a change if you need to do it.
Yeah, being nimble. I love that. Okay, quick question. If you visited Pat, did you see the miniature cows
I
that
did not.
he raises? Oh
I
my
did
God.
not. I was there. He's actually the reason why I moved to paperless. So that was part of I'm flying out to Denver. I'm going to see how he does it. I want to see it live. I wanted to see the bells and whistles, the colors, and the fun that you want to see on it, and it brings it. But he sold it. So I really give Pat a high five on that.
Good job, Pat.
Yeah.
All right, Bill, take us home. What are you
Take us
prepping
home.
for?
So I used to be a pretty good visionary, and I used to think that was a plan. And a vision is not a plan. A vision is a starting point for a plan. And we now plan out 3 years in advance. What is this going to look like at the end of year 3? We do 3 years, back to 1 year, and then quarterly. So at the end of the year, where do we need to be? How many people are we going to need? What kind of training are we need? How many trucks do we need to buy the year after that? And it's basically looking out 3 years and backing everything up to where we are at today, and then trying to execute on that. I used to have we're going to grow this much, and then we start growing, and I don't have any damn trucks to go do the work because we didn't plan. We just wanted to, it's like I was a bull in a china shop. Let's go do it. So now we plan. The other thing I would say about the next couple of years, it is my belief that there's a lot of uncertainty in the economy right now, and I don't see that changing a whole lot. And on the residential side, there's a lack of money in the economy right now to get things done. People don't need always replace the roof, but they're always going to fix the roof because they have to. So they may want to replace the roof, but they can't. So as a team right now where we're looking at how do we market better for repairs? How do we make roofs last longer? How do we save these people money so that in a year or two from now when there's a little bit more clarity, we're going to be their guy. But we are planning on doing more service work in the next couple of years because of the uncertainty in the economy.
I love that. That's great. Anything to add? Anybody? That's brilliant, Bill. Okay, questions from you wonderful people.
I'm sorry, did you hear her? She just called me brilliant.
Brilliant.
I've been married 41 years. I have never heard that before, okay?
It's recorded. Questions. These are some smart people. You should have some questions. Come on. Yeah.
I'd like to know how many people you had in your department when you started in service, and then at what point you decided to add new positions, like estimator or superintendents or service coordinators, and kind of where you're at with that position hierarchy in your department now.
Yeah. Who wants to hit that first?
I can
Bill?
go.
Go ahead.
So we started with 2 trucks and the production side. Once we got to the 3rd truck, then we hired we called it a service manager at the time, but it was really a superintendent. Once we got to the 4th truck, we brought in a coordinator, and talking to really smart people like Tracy, we found out that a superintendent can handle 4 to 5 trucks, a coordinator can handle 8 to 10 trucks, depending on how you're set up. So we just keep scaling that way.
Yeah, I can speak in the years that I've been with the company. I did all the top site, that's our inspection program. So I was solely doing that. We had a service manager, we had 6 technicians. And so just over the years, slowly adding to that, but most recently, in the last 2 years, I have pulled 2 people out of the field, and that's where I have my new service superintendent. And he's amazing. He's building a bridge between everything that I was doing, trying to coordinate the cranes, is sheet metal done out there, really being my little person that can help tremendously, and being in the field and doing quality control, this and that. And we recently, in the last few months, hired a coordinator. So I've typically been doing it, all the invoicing myself. She is a huge help. She's starting to, create dispatches. The whole time I've been here, she's been running Centerpoint the whole time and routing the technicians and doing everything I'm doing. And then I also brought in for a full-time roof inspector. So he is solely hitting 5 to 6 a day, sometimes more, sometimes less. Again, making somebody solely out there just each and every day. He is completing the reports, getting them back into the sales hands just for final approval, and they're off to the client within the day.
Wow. I love it. So it's taken time for both of you all. Robert, how many people did you have when you started? I was trying to remember your question.
This particular company too. Watch your backlog. Watch your time since the job's been sold. Customers are going to be verbal if you're taking too long to get there. That'll start being your indicator that you're needing another truck, you need another techs. It should be relatively easy as you go along to start seeing where you're having delays or clogs in your system administratively. If it's taking too long to turn quotes around, it's taking too long to get billing out. But overall, much like Bill was saying, put a plan together instead of just trying to do it by the seat of your pants. And you should be able to set real goals with real numbers that will help you put a guideline in place of what you think you're gonna need, either labor-wise, administrative help, or anything else to make the growth cycle go smoother. The other thing I recommend is, I love using the analogy, hunting with a rifle instead of a shotgun. Try and be as focused as you can on what realistic goals are instead of trying to go out and grow too big too fast. I have seen departments, I've seen companies fail because yes, you can have a big storm and you can go bite off big chunks, but when there is just uncontrolled growth, quality goes out the window, costs go through the roof, and I've seen plenty of them guys show up in them big fancy trucks with shiny wheels that 3 years later, they're working for someone else. So just take your time, put a plan in place, follow the plan.
Dusty?
So I've worked for 4 different roof companies, so in the service department. So I got 4 different stories really. But to me, the scaling model is you should have a coordinator from go. Right? If you have 1 truck, you should have a coordinator. Because the service manager should be focused on checking the invoices. Checking the estimates, making sure that everything's getting priced correctly, and focus on Q and quality control. And the coordinator should be doing the admin stuff, scheduling stuff out, talking to clients, making sure if there's stuff changes, they should be doing all that stuff. So the manager can focus on the estimating piece and the quality control piece. But I'd agree that a good coordinator can run 8 to 10 trucks. With the CRMs we have today, easy. And then probably about two trucks, you probably want to start getting an inspector if they're running full tilt. So you can use like an inspector, you can use the crew as an inspector if you don't have a full tilt truck. They're not working 40 hours a week, they're struggling for hours. But once they're maxed out, you've got to get an inspector so those don't fall off when you are running your trucks at full speed. I would say that's about it for that. And then superintendent, I think the career growth should be tech, foreman to inspector, inspector to superintendent, the superintendent up to a manager. Should be the right way. That way they're learning the right skills as they grow. And always try to go internally first.
Yeah, amazing. Any other questions?
Question on the inspector, so you mentioned it. Are they also doing the estimating for the inspect, or is that information hand off internally to your estimator?
So mine goes out, he does it, it pretty much autofills. Like, we've set up the system so that it's already generated the inspection report, but the estimators are gonna give it one last final review before it sends out to the client.
Yeah, we've also always had the inspectors, if they're at that level, that they're processing their own stuff. Yeah, so they're using the system that should be pretty close, but they're vetting it to make sure there's nothing weird in there. Because even with the system, as close as you can get it, weird stuff happens. Like you said, a paint, chip brush or rags at a certain level, and then you end up with 10,000 rags. Well, I don't need 10,000 rags. I don't need 50 paintbrushes, right? So you have to have somebody going there and catching those things that still pop up and look through. But yeah, the inspectors should be processing their own stuff.
Question over here.
Yeah. So I'm from the Chicago district. 2 men, 1 working day, typically costs about, in our industry, just under $5,000 a day. So my question is, to maximize the service, it's a huge opportunity. What do you guys say? How do you guys try to relate to your customers? What would they make you? How do you maximize that every single day? $5,000 times 5 days a week. All right, granted, there's no rain or snow to generate that type of business and have that success. Times it by multiple trucks.
I would say I always have our inspection program that we have, we call it Topsite, but I have service agreements out there with multiple clients of ours, and I will schedule work for the technicians each and every day, and they'll also head out with service agreements in their truck with them, because they'll be in the area. So when they're done with their job, you guys nailed it, did great. Now, why don't you go take care of some of these service agreements? Get up there, do a full roof inspection, complete the repairs while on site, and keep them moving. I don't want to see anyone back at the shop before 3:30, 4 o'clock. There's always something to do.
And you should be where you have some sort of a balance between scope work, that is a larger repair that you're going to put a hard number on, certain number of days. Whether it's repairing big seams in metal roofs, things of that nature, compared to your time and material leaks, your NTE jobs or anything else. So factor that pricing in when you're quoting the work of what you need to try to be able to get to be profitable and meet your revenue goals weekly, monthly, and quarterly.
I would say definitely not on your scope tickets or price what they're at, but the T&M tickets, you need to be pushing for additional work, and NT increases on every job, right? So while they're on that roof, they need to be maximizing what they can do on that roof. So they're fix a leak, they're looking for other stuff that they have the stuff with them to take care of right then, and try to get that knocked out right now. It's always going to be cheaper for the customer too, because what costs them is mobilization. So you can pitch that to your customer, man, it's going to be cheaper if you let me go ahead and fix this today, then I have to come back next week and we price it, get all the admin fees, you got the mobilization, we got to get back up on the roof. It's going to cost you a lot more money. If we can go ahead and just do it today for additional money, it's going to be cheaper on you and you're going to get more money out of the day. So that's huge. And then having a good coordinator that knows how to schedule these jobs geographically as close to each other as possible. Right? So you can put that travel time, and it might be taking you might be charging the customer an hour of travel, but you're really only going 15 minutes down the road. So those two things I think are the biggest thing to really maximize your trucks.
Great, guys. I saw, another question over here.
Just beyond the backlog, what are some of the key metrics, KPIs you guys track on a weekly basis for connection to the service growth or profitability?
Did everybody hear that?
I think so. We track invoicing within 24 hours. We track payment on residential within 48 hours. I like to get paid. We track revenue per truck. We track gross margin on a monthly basis, and we track quality, control, and safety on a weekly basis. And in simple terms, we try our best to set up our weekly KPIs as either current or leading indicators, and then the monthly reporting is more of a lagging indicator. So if we do A, B, and C right, when we get to the monthly reporting, those numbers should be good. And if they're not, then we go back in and how come we're not here? What did we miss in the last month?
Yeah, and you said you were EOS, correct? Okay, so are we. So we do a lot of tracking on scorecards each and every week, and monthly pulling. I mean, I don't remember who talked about it, but pulling the best job of the month and the worst job of the month, and figuring out what did happen with that job. I'm definitely implementing that, because we'll look at a full gross margin over the month, and you know, part of our tracking system is how many hours are sitting in the log right now that are ready to go out the door. And also, how many roof leaks did we perform this week? You know, we're watching those numbers build, and it's not always a good thing. I want to get that work done now. I never want to see it at 400, 500, 600 hours, because that means I need more people. I need to get this work done, right? But really, a lot of what you're tracking is what we track each and every day. Amazing. Yep, keep going.
I want to add one thing to it. One thing that we track is we have a goal to get from the time that techs check in to they're out on the road going somewhere to do work, we have a 20-minute exit goal for them to review work orders, load trucks, and get the stuff out of there. And we're doing really decent with it now, but what was really interesting is I started out with 15 minutes because, you know, root cause issues, and we found there were 4 or 5 different causes. Techs would have their little huddle chats. The shop didn't have their stuff staged properly. There were missing materials. And it allowed us, by tracking the 20-minute, it allowed us to fix all that other stuff to where now they are getting out quickly and getting to the jobs better, et cetera, et cetera. One of the other things that we don't track anymore, but we still watch is, I don't know how many of you guys did this, but our guys are really good at it. They'd leave the shop in the morning, they get a mile down the road, and they stop at a 7-Eleven or a Shell station. And then at the end of the day, they stop at a 7-Eleven or a Shell station. And I'm paying them to go to 7-Eleven and a Shell station. And it was like, okay, you leave the shop in the morning, you go to the job site. You want to go to the Shell station, you do it on your lunch break. At the end of the day, the only stop you're allowed to make is to fill up your tank for the next day. And then you come back here and you park your truck and have it ready to go.
Yeah, my husband's a plumber, and he goes to 7-Eleven every day. Anybody else have something to add on this one?
Well, you're speaking to a lot of issues that are near and dear to my heart. I'm like an efficiency guy. A tech's favorite thing to do is ride around in the air conditioning getting paid. What I've seen in some of the larger companies do when they have a certain amount of trucks, one of the ways to eliminate that argument is actually bring in a fueling service, have the trucks fueled in the evening. That eliminates the I need to go to the gas station type of thing. Have a second shift guy come in, load the trucks, judging by their tickets in the morning. That way it's a simple matter of turning the key and leaving, or let the techs take the vehicles home. There's my techs I meet once, maybe twice a week that they need to come in. I personally make sure I look at all the tickets for the coming week. I see exactly what needs to be procured material. I go get it all. It's all at the shop. There's no way my guys, unless it's something new that they ran into in the field with an NT or something else, should ever be going to Lowe's or Home Depot. And I've seen so many companies who have their techs out there shopping and wasting time, and these are the things that will eat into your net profit like there are no tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Don't be afraid to walk out in your shop and look around and go, what can I do to make these guys be on the roof, which is making me money, and start looking at very simple ways to bring efficiencies into your company. That's, as soon as you started talking that, I'm going, yes, these are the things I love to watch. The only way they're making you money is if they're on the roof working. The more time you give them to be in that truck or screwing off, like you said, being chatty Cathy, no. Take the truck home every night. Here's your schedule. I'll see you on Monday. I'll see you on Friday. We'll load the vehicle, everything else. And like I said, on large scale operations, they bring in they're saving on their fuel costs by buying it in bulk. The trucks are fueled in the morning, ready to go, and it's just a matter of coming in and turning key. But yeah, look at efficiencies on your own end. You can have your operating processes put in place that are gonna be as efficient as possible, but there's always a way on the back end to be more efficient and make more money with the money you're bringing in the door.
Wow, I love that.
And back to your real question about like what we're tracking, I'm a data Nazi, as Chad can definitely vouch for. So I track invoice revenue, but I also track produced revenue. I track site bid percentages, NTE percentages based off the number of tickets they ran that week. Okay, how many NTEs did you get increases on? How many site bids did you get back off of that? I could track my backlog, but I also track what are we producing this week. So I might have, oh man, I got $20,000 in backlog. Awesome, but you're gonna do 15 of it this week. So that means next week I got $500. Awesome. So you can really see a true backlog instead of what we're gonna produce this week, and we really don't have a backlog. Might look good on Monday morning, but come Friday, there's no backlog there because you ate it all up. And I provide this to my guys every Tuesday morning. I go through the scorecard, and all that data is listed. I also put side bid close rates, so they know, hey, the side bids you're producing are selling, and these are the ones producing, and they're selling at this rate. So it motivates them to do more side bids, and it also teaches them what things to put on the side bid they're going to sell versus the stuff that I put that on 5 side bids and it never sells. So they quit picking that stuff, so they get more out of it, and you get more out of it. But I always present all that data to them every week.
Amazing. How are we doing on time? Yeah.
I'm going to piggyback on what he said. We have fuel stations at every location we have.
Wow.
And I know in Florida, there's a couple different companies that do it, but it's free.
Oh.
They'll come set it up at your shop for free. The tanks are free.
What?
Then you'll get your fuel also at a discounted rate.
What?
It's free. I mean, it's a no-brainer. You're not stopping for biscuits and gravy.
Exactly.
You're seeing them fuel up, the only thing you end up getting into is, you gotta watch them unless, we have digital systems that we have installed, they gotta punch in their code, but we stopped using that a few years ago, but you have to watch them because they'll fill up gas cans, and try and put it in their personal vehicle or something like that.
I've worked for companies where they have the air conditioning unhooked in every truck they buy. Because it keeps the guys from sitting there on the job site doing nothing, sitting there idling in the 7-Eleven parking lot or anything else. You're employed to be here to work, make money. It's not something I necessarily agree with on a safety thing as much time as I spent in Florida with the temperatures down there. But in these northern climates, I've seen it happen plenty of times because I'm not paying you to drive around and burn my gas sitting there idling and talking on your cell phone with your wife. Yeah.
That's amazing. I would highly recommend GPSs in all the vehicles. Just them knowing that they're being tracked, but I'm also delivering an honest time to the client that how long we were on site. And if at any moment they were to question an invoice or how long did that take, why did it take so long, I can see the truck was stopped at your location for exact amount of time. But it's an accountability for them too.
Yeah. Or
So-
if there's traffic.
Traffic, absolutely,
So a question for y'all, so do all your teams come to the shop every day to start their day?
yes.
See, so my teams don't. They go straight from their house, straight to the job. So it cuts out all that shop time immediately. If they stop at the gas station, it kind of makes up for it because they're not stopping at the shop.
No, see, especially with where we're located geographically,
Yeah.
we're kind of in the center of Dayton, Cincinnati, and Columbus. With where the one particular team we have now is located, it would be just obstinate for them to come down to the shop
Yeah.
to see me in the morning when they can save
Absolutely.
an hour and a half plus in fuel and travel time and go straight to Columbus or go straight to Dayton. Now, maybe coming through to Cincy makes sense, but with where they're located, we're saving time, we're saving fuel, just
Absolutely.
letting them take the truck.
And it does, and then all that doesn't matter. Like all the stuff you're complaining about doesn't matter anymore because I don't know, but I charge for travel time one way to the job, right? Well, it's at a rate that it's more than what the guys make, right? And normally they're not going, I'm going to charge them an hour where it'll take them 10 minutes. So if they stop at 7-Eleven, who cares? To me, because it's made in there, it's built in.
That's how I am as well. Like
Yeah,
I
I
will
don't
make sure that my routes are in the
Now,
general area.
If they're sitting in the
Every time.
parking lot of 7-Eleven for 30 minutes, now we have a problem. right? But if they're just stopping at 7-Eleven, it's built in. It's already built in.
Safe.
And then the ticket for lunch, their lunch is covered because they're going between tickets.
Well, see, this is one
And at the
way
end of the
I'm-
day, it's bought on the way back.
We're
It's-
making even more money when we're billing the client from our office to Columbus, but my team's already halfway there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, normally I won't try to travel more than an hour unless I can tell them up front, hey, you're 2-3 hours away. And then we can have the conversation.
Yeah, we have a
But-
question over here and a comment over here from Emmett.
All right.
Comment first.
Just to go play off what Corey said, depending on how many service teams you have, if they're coming to the shop, what time are they getting on the job, right? So you let the guys take the trucks home, right? It's a great benefit. I'm gonna get back to that. Filling up gas, hey, listen, man, I'm giving you a vehicle. I'm saving you $3,000 a year in gas, never mind maintenance on the vehicle. But also to be efficient, fill this truck up, on your way home. Don't have your helper watch you pump gas in this truck. Let's not burn daylight, right? So I think it was Chad that was coaching us about, some efficiency and looking at that revenue that they create. So you don't have to worry about them sitting in the AC because their pay is based on their incentives is on the, what they produce each and every day, right? How much revenue and profit they turn, and of course, understanding those goals. But the waste of time, just call it lead guy and repair tech at the shop every morning by the time they load up and get some coffee, right? Talk about work orders. That's 2 man hours. It's 10 man hours in a week. If your goal is minimum $90 an hour profit per man hour, that's how much a week? $900 that you just blew. Times that by 10 service trucks, that's $9,000, right? Times that by 52 weeks. Listen, I don't know what the math is. I'm gonna guess $450,000 in profits that he lost. Okay, okay. So you don't really shouldn't bill that out to your jobs. In all fairness, you sometimes can, but what a waste of time. So I like your deal about paperless work orders, right? And I love your deal about go straight to the job, start work at 7 o'clock, and quit wasting time and money.
Okay, we had one last question over here.
I guess the question comes to, kind of like, when the guys are working on service jobs and they're doing, return their, drive hours, right? Drive hours in Chicago, it can get crazy. 1,
Yeah.
2 hours, out of the ballpark, it's crazy. I mean, that's $200 per hour in Chicago. So, where do you position yourselves as a business owner on knowing your truck, but also knowing the sale, also knowing the fact that it's gonna happen again, no matter what. So you have to futurize the overall gain on the project, no matter what.
Everybody hear that?
Are you, on your scope, is it a solid price, or are you ever doing NTEs?
Typically, it's time and material work will be $200 an hour for 1 day. That's what it is. That's what it costs in Chicago. $200 a day. So with material, $4,500, and then you throw in $100 just to be generous with gas.
So I think the question is really how are you guys handling when you have a long amount of travel time just to get them, let's say, like a routine?
And to maximize and pay off the investment on the cost of the truck. Because if you want to grow a service business, you have to have the trucks on the road. You have to have your presence, your marketing on the road.
Right. Travel time.
I'm not 100% clear on this one, but I would say the way we do it is, and I don't know if it's state or federal, I don't pretend to have all the answers on this, but I know in our state, if that Tech 1 has a Tech 2 in that truck, he's getting paid, period. So If he has a Tech 2 in that car, he's getting paid. And if we want our guys to go straight to the job site, the Tech 2s are going to be all kinds of unhappy that they got to take their own vehicle to the job site. They do it on bigger projects. Like if we have a scope repair that takes 4 or 5 days, they'll go straight to the job site. But for the most part, they get in the truck at the shop, they're getting paid. So when we're doing T&M work, the first job, whatever it is to get to that job, and that job goes on the first ticket, then go from the first job to the second job, goes on the second ticket, et cetera, et cetera. The last service call of the day, they actually make out a little bit, because when we put the ladders away and we pull out of that, their ticket stops at that point. We still pay them until they get back to the shop, though.
And that's why when you're scheduling your day, start them the farthest away from wherever their end of their day is going to be. Right? If they're working from home, like me, my guys go to their house and they don't come to the shop, or if they are coming to the shop, make sure that ticket, the last ticket, is as close to your shop or their house as possible, because that's what you're paying for. The rest of them, the clients are paying for. But that last little jive home is what